Tonight we have a help of our cap tally enthusiast, Miss Alice Litherland, former Chief Petty Officer First Class at RCSCC Vanguard, has been a cadet for over 7 years, started at 12 years old, went through the program, also became a bosun, went to camp all the time, so no one is more qualified than the former Chief Petty Officer First Class Litherland and current officer candidate to teach you how to tie your RCSCC Ontario cap tally.
Good evening. So we're going to tie our cap tallies on our caps, and the first thing we have to make sure we're doing is putting our cap tally on the right way. So if you look on the inside of your cap, there's a red side and a green side. And the way that this is set up is just like port and starboard. So the red side is going to be on your left and the green side is going to be on your right. And that's when it's on top of your head. So I'm going to turn it this way, and this is going to be the front of your cap. The next step we're going to do is take our cap tally, which should be nice and pressed so that it's flat, and we're going to take the name part of the cap tally and count the letters in so that we find the center of the cap tally. So we match the R with the O in this case, and so forth, until we get to the O in the end. So in the case of RCSCC Ontario, we are going to line up the center of the cap, which is this crease here, with the gap in between the O and the N. So we start by lining that part up, and we make sure that the edge of the cap tally is sitting inside of this crease. You don't want it on top of it because it won't sit flat. You wrap the cap tally around so that both of the tails are on the left hand or port side of the cap. This should give you two tails of approximately equal length. You then want to make sure that it's sitting flat all the way around and none of it is overhanging that lip. You're going to tie the two tails in a half hitch and make sure that it's very snug. You want to make sure, as you're tying it and snugging it, that you don't get any parts folded over. So if that happens, you want to push the cap tally up so it's lying flat and snug it again. Same thing on the back. Push the cap tally up and snug it again. You want the center of the half hitch to overlie the seam on the side of your cap. Now, it's really helpful if you have a buddy for this, and they can pinch the center of your half hitch, and then you want to tie it into a reef knot. Once you've tied it in a reef knot, it should stay put. You can adjust it to make sure that it's straight all the way around, but it should no longer be able to fall off your cap. The next step, though, is to make it into a bow. To do that, you're actually going to tie it just like your shoelaces. You're going to start with the shorter tail and fold it approximately in half and pinch it at the base. You're going to take the longer tail and fold it long ways in half to make a thinner ribbon, and wrap it around the first bite you created and tuck the bottom through just like when you tie your shoelaces. The next part is where the cap tally gets interesting. We want to make sure that it's lying completely flat. So what that means is that we are going to go back and forth snugging it and pulling on the tails until it is approximately 3 centimeters in length. This is why it's very important to have pressed your cap tally first, because it lies flatter. Now, as you notice, our tails are in the way, even though our bows are flat. So we want to make sure that we can press our tails flat as well. A misconception of the cap tally is that both the tails need to be underneath. In fact, one tail will be on top of the bow. And then all you have to do is trim the ends the same length as the bow. And if they're still curling a little bit, you can add a little bit of starch and press it, and you'll have a great cap tally. So the last step is to trim the ends of your cap tally. you want to make sure that you're making the tail as long as the bow. So you want to cut on a nice straight line across the tail. And if you're going to err on the side of caution, make sure you cut it a little bit long because you can always trim it again. So that side looks pretty flat. And then I'm going to cut the other. And there you have it. If your bow keeps curling, you can always add a little bit of starch and press it. A good trick as well is to add a little bit of clear nail polish to the end of your cap tally so that the ends don't fray. Thanks for watching.